I'm going to overcomplicate living in Iowa, but it's for a good cause. Let's be real really quick. Stay with me. Iowa is really not a complicated place to live, but there are some nuances on different areas, and that's what we're gonna cover today. And stick around till the end because I'm gonna tell you my #1 spot I would move to if I was making a move today. Now, moving to Iowa may seem like there's basically one type of lifestyle, but that's actually really not true. You know, we have rural living, we have small town living, and we have city living. And we're gonna talk about two of them today and kind of the areas for both of them. And those two things are rural/wilderness kind of living and city type of living. Now, if I was to move in Iowa, which by the way, I'm extremely happy where I'm at here in Davenport, but if I was to move and I'd want to move to an area that was rural, maybe a little bit more wilderness, I would probably move up to Northeastern Iowa, specifically around the Decorah area. Now, if you're not familiar with that area, it is absolutely gorgeous up there. They have bluffs, they have rock outcroppings, which when you're thinking about Iowa is not typical landscape that you're probably thinking of. Decorah is just an absolutely game changer when it comes to Iowa and its landscape. You can get up there, get lost in the wilderness and not see anybody for days. Another great area that's in Northeastern Iowa that I've actually experienced firsthand was Yellow River State Park. I got a chance to go up there for a bachelor party, and you'd think a bachelor party, you wouldn't want to get out in the wilderness, but this one was perfect for the bachelor. We got to have an Airbnb out away from everybody. In fact, there wasn't even a town close enough to where we could go purchase a lot of stuff. So we brought everything along with us. During that bachelor party, we got to really hang out, have bonfires, shoot guns, do all the quote unquote wilderness stuff that you want to do up there. But it was still extremely nice because the Airbnb that we were staying at was just absolutely amazing. The hosts were amazing. In fact, they actually were right across the road in their personal home and came in, gave us food. So it was awesome. But when we were out there, I just noticed the lack of people. And that is something that some people are really drawn to. And if I was to move to Iowa and wanted that, you wanted more of a little bit more rugged country, well, I would look in that northeastern corner around Decorah or Yellow River State Park because it's just absolutely gorgeous up there. But maybe it's a little bit too isolated. Well, where would I move if I wanted kind of a rugged area, but not super isolated? Well, if I was thinking about in those terms, I would actually go back to my hometown in Western Iowa. And the reason being is in my hometown, there's what they call the Loess Hills, and they're absolutely gorgeous. There's only two places in the whole world that have Loess Hills, and that is Western Iowa and China. Now, the Loess Hills are super rugged, but they're not rocky. It's literally made out of a dirt that is almost like a yellow texture and color. And because of that dirt, there are roads that go through there that are cut almost vertically. And you'll see these roads all over the area. But the thing about the Loess Hills is there is a lot of small towns around, so you're not completely isolated from civilization when you're out there, but you do have a ton of state land where you can go hunting, you can go fishing, just go out hiking. You have a lot of options out there, and that's where I would be looking if I was looking for a lifestyle that required to be a little bit more rugged, but you still want to be a part of civilization. Western Iowa would be a great option for that. Now, because I've lived all over the state, I do know a thing or two about living in the state of Iowa. And if you need help pinpointing that exact location of what's going to fit you and your family, give me a call. My number is popping up down below. I'd love to help you out. And if I can't help you out, I do know a ton of people all over the state that will be able to answer any of those questions that you might have. So let me know what you got. When it comes to city life, we have a few different options. Now, city is relative when you're talking about Iowa cities. It's not gonna be your Chicagos, it's not gonna be your San Franciscos, it's not gonna be those ginormous cities that you think of when you think city. So keep that in mind. But our options here are places like Davenport, which is where I'm at right now, right on the Mississippi River. You can maybe see that barge behind me. And it's a smaller big city. Now Davenport is about 100,000 people, but it's a part of the Quad Cities, which if you look at the Quad Cities is about 400,000 people, to give you a little bit of scale as far as what Davenport actually looks like, because the Quad Cities really is a whole community, even though we do have all those different cities within it. But we have a lot of great things that are happening here. We have, what I like a lot is the bike trails right along the Mississippi. We have a ton of parks you can go out to, exercising options, and a lot of great things as far as the traffic goes as well. Easy commutes pretty much anywhere you go. If you start in one end of Davenport and get to the other, it's gonna take you maybe 15 minutes, and that's if traffic's bad. So it's a very easy commute. Davenport is a very industrial city, so you have manufacturing places, job options, all sorts of different things. And if that's what you're looking for, it's gonna be in Davenport in Eastern Iowa here. And I just had this conversation a little while ago with somebody that reached out to me, and she asked, I want historical homes, I want the history. Well, Eastern Iowa specifically in Davenport, you're gonna find a lot of those types of homes. So that's another benefit if that's the type of home you like. But we also have brand new homes. So we have an abundance of different types of homes and lifestyles right here in Davenport. Maybe that's not really what you're looking for. Maybe you want something else. Well, another great option is actually Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids is in Eastern Iowa as well, but a little bit further north and a little bit further west than Davenport. But Davenport is literally on the Mississippi River. It's as far east as you could possibly get and still be in Iowa. But Cedar Rapids is a great option too. It's got a lot of jobs. It's got even more wilderness areas, which I personally love, but Davenport really doesn't have it. They have the lake up there, which actually is a part of a river. So you have some cool options looking at Cedar Rapids. Now, one of the downfalls about Cedar Rapids, and it's just because I travel through there every now and then, is the speed cameras that are on their interstate. Yes, they have, I believe, 2 speed cameras, and you gotta watch out for them because they will get you. I haven't been caught yet, but my old roommate did, and that's actually how I discovered they had the speed cameras to begin with. So be on your best lookout when you're going through Cedar Rapids, because those speed cameras are no joke. But if I'm thinking cities and I'm thinking Iowa, my number one spot that I would be moving to if I was moving would actually be Des Moines. When you look at Des Moines as an option to move to, it's a very clean city. It's growing in population and in jobs. Des Moines is supposed to be reaching 1 million people within the next few years, which that is our largest city. Think about that for a second. If you're coming from another city, 1 million people, that doesn't seem like a lot, but we are approaching that in Des Moines. There's awesome jobs there, like I mentioned. We have tech jobs. Facebook is there. Microsoft is there. We have jobs in insurance, which Des Moines is actually known as the insurance capital of the nation, which a lot of people don't actually fully understand. So we have a lot of awesome opportunities there in Des Moines. They have entertainment options coming to Des Moines. I just talked to a friend of mine there. She said there's a grand experience getting built in Des Moines, which is going to be awesome. When you look at it, you'll see it in the news, and it's going to be a really cool place to be. They have the Des Moines Farmers Market, which is the largest farmers market, I believe, in the United States. So there's a lot going on and a lot of good things going on in there. And if cities are what you're really looking for in the state of Iowa, I would look at Des Moines, but even more so, I would look at Des Moines and its suburbs, which are the fastest growing suburbs in the whole state. So look at that as a great option. And since you stuck around to the very end, that is where I would be moving if I was deciding to make a move right now. Now, I keep talking about how awesome Des Moines is, but I will tell you there are some downfalls. And that number one downfall for me is the traffic there. Now, the traffic in Des Moines is still reasonable, but when I did live close by, I had to travel to West Des Moines, and every day I had to fight the interstate traffic as it was rush hour. It was never really standstill traffic, but you were slowed down quite a bit, and you always had to pay attention to not run into the people in front of you. The other thing about Des Moines traffic is it comes out of nowhere. You'll be going 80 miles an hour down the interstate, and all of a sudden you'll be coming to a complete stop. So be ready. I had that experience once. Granted, it was during a snowstorm. I came over the top of a little crest in the hill and there was stopped traffic in front of me because there was a big pile up of cars that happened just moments before I got there. Now that's a unique situation, but you still got to pay attention when you're going through Des Moines because that traffic can suddenly change. But that is really my only gripe about Des Moines itself. Otherwise, I love it over there, and I think you might love it if a city is what you're looking for in the state of Iowa.